Hi friends, welcome to the most important initiative for the Prelims 2024, Predict the Unpredictable. Guys, in this series, I am going to predict important topics and questions for the Prelims 2024. Guys, my name is Santosh Pandey. I have the unique distinction of cracking the UPSC Prelims examination 6 out of 6 times with one of the highest score ever scored by any UPSC aspirant. And in the past couple of years, I am helping a lot of aspirants to crack the prelims examination by predicting a lot of topics and questions in the UPSC prelims examination. Guys, in today's lecture, I am going to discuss one important topic which can come in the prelims 2024 from the polity section. Guys, that topic is basic structure doctrine. First, I am going to give you why this topic is important this year. Then I am going to show you the PYQs which have come on this topic, and then I'm going to brainstorm this topic and give you exactly what can come in this year's prelims examination. So guys, the first reason why this topic is important for the prelims 2024 is that we are observing 50 years of the basic structure doctrine. You all know that basic structure doctrine was given by the Supreme Court in 1973 in the Keshav Nanda Bharti case. The second reason why this topic is important is during the 83rd All India Presiding Officers Conference, our Honorable Vice President has also pointed out that there is a need to review the Keshav Nanda Bharti verdict, which gave the basic structure doctrine. So these are the two reasons why this topic is important. So let us see what are the questions which have already come on this topic. You can see here prelims 2020, there was a question on basic structure doctrine. You can see the constitution defines basic structure doctrine. So obviously constitution does not define the basic structure doctrine. And second, the Constitution of India provides for judicial review to safeguard the citizens and to preserve the ideals of the constitution. So exactly, the constitution does not explicitly mention judicial review. However, the constitution implicitly has judicial review in it. So the UPSC, what answer it gave was the option D. UPSC gave option D in this. You can see another question which came in the prelims examination 2019. You can see here 44th amendment of the constitution, and the Supreme Court of India struck down the 99th amendment to the constitution as being violative of the independence of judiciary. So guys, this is also related to the basic structure doctrine. So we are going to see how questions can come on this topic in 2024 using these two PYQs. I will show you exactly. So first, what we will do is that we will brainstorm the topic of basic structure, what kind of questions can come, what all you need to prepare on this topic. So guys, first of all, you need to prepare what is basic structure doctrine. Then you need to prepare the philosophy behind the basic structure doctrine. Next, you need to prepare what is contained in the basic structure doctrine. Next, you have to prepare evolution of the basic structure doctrine, because the basic structure doctrine evolved through various important cases. And then what was the reason of the basic structure doctrine was there was a conflict between the parliament and judiciary. Next, the basic thing which led to the doctrine of basic structure was the doctrine of judicial review. So you need to prepare the doctrine of judicial review also. And last but not the least, you need to prepare amendments to the Indian Constitution. What are the different types of amendment and the important amendments related to the evolution of basic structure doctrine. So this is how you have to prepare this topic. Many students, what mistake they do, they will just read basic structure doctrine and they will think that okay, this topic is prepared. No, you have to read the entire evolution. You have to read amendments. You have to read important amendments. You have to read important cases. You see how UPSC has already asked 44th amendment. So like this, UPSC can ask important amendments which led to this basic structure doctrine. So let us start. So first of all, what is this basic structure doctrine? Basic structure doctrine is a judge-made doctrine or judiciary-made doctrine. Basic structure doctrine was not originally present in the constitution. Not originally present in the constitution. This you should remember. It was created by judiciary in the year 1973. The meaning of this doctrine is that there are certain features of the Indian Constitution. There are certain features of the Indian Constitution which is beyond the limit of the Indian Parliament's amending power. Which is beyond the limit of the Indian Parliament's amending power. Okay. The crux of the doctrine is that the amending power of the judiciary is limited. It is limited. It is not unlimited. It is limited. So Parliament cannot amend the entire constitution. There are certain features of the constitution which the parliament cannot amend. That is what is the basic idea of this basic structure doctrine. So basic structure doctrine, what is contained in the basic structure doctrine? So in the same case, you can see Chief Justice S.M. Sikri said that the supremacy of the constitution, the republican and democratic form of the constitution, the sovereignty of the country, the secular nature of the country, the federal character of the constitution, the democratic demarcation of the power of legislature, executive and judiciary, which is the separation of power, then dignity of individual, welfare state contained in part 4, unity integrity of the nation. This is what is contained in the basic structure. Then other judges also added the democratic character of the polity and the essential features of the individual freedom is the basic structure doctrine. So one thing you should remember, that basic structure is not finite. Basic structure is not finite. It has been evolving with the various Supreme Court cases. And that is one of the major criticisms of basic structure doctrine, is that what exactly is basic structure doctrine is not defined completely. With every Supreme Court judgment, this has been expanding. For example, in some judgment they added secularism as a basic structure doctrine. Some judgment has added independence of judiciary, judicial review as basic structure doctrine. So the entire list is given in the Lakshmikant book. You can go through the Lakshmikant book, the entire list, what is contained in the basic structure doctrine. But remember that the basic structure doctrine is evolving. It is not finite, it is evolving. Next, the basic structure doctrine came from the doctrine of judicial review. So in Indian Constitution, Article 13, Article 32, Article 131, Article 136, 143, 226 and 246 basically allows for judicial doctrine, allows for the judicial review doctrine, So this is very important. Article 13, 32, 31, 131, 136, 142, 143, 226 and 246. Okay, next you need to know the amendment to the Indian Constitution. There are three kinds of amendment. One is simple majority amendment. So simple majority amendment, you can see most of the features of the Indian Constitution can be amended by a simple law. You can see formation of new state, creation of new legislative council, then creation of council of ministers, then you can see elections to the parliament and state legislature, delimitation, then 5th and 6th schedule, citizenship, salaries and allowances of president, vice president and judges, parliamentary privileges, etc., etc. This can be amended by simple legislation by the parliament. And there are some provisions of the constitution that can be amended by special majority under Article 368. So under Article 368 there are two kinds of amendment. One is by special majority of the parliament. These are fundamental rights, DPSP, etc., etc. And then there are some provisions of the constitution which needs ratification by the state legislatures also. So half of the state legislature must agree. Half of the state legislature must agree to the amendments. Then only those amendments can be passed. And which are these provisions? These are entrenched provisions, which are federal provisions of the constitution. Federal provisions of the constitution, for example, election of president. Then you can see Supreme Court, High Court, distribution of legislative power between union and states, representation of states in the parliament, and Article 368 itself. If you want to amend these things, then you need what? Special majority, plus you need 50% states to agree to it. So this is very important. This can come in the prelims examination this year. Next, what can come? So evolution of the basic structure doctrine. In evolution of the basic structure doctrine, Shankari Prasad case is very, very important. So this case was against the first amendment of the constitution, which curtailed the right to property. So Supreme Court has said under this that the parliament can amend the fundamental right under Article 368 of the constitution, and the law in the Article 13 is only ordinary law and not the constitutional amendment law. So an amendment to the fundamental right cannot be invalidated by the court. This is the provision. This means what? The parliament can amend the fundamental rights as per the Shankari Prasad case 1951. Then comes the Golaknath case. In Golaknath case, basically Supreme Court said that the fundamental rights are transcendental and immutable in nature, and the parliament cannot take away the fundamental rights. Parliament cannot take away the fundamental rights. Constitutional amendment acts are also coming under the purview of Article 13. Okay, so after that what happened? Parliament enacted the 24th Constitutional Amendment Act, through which it amended Article 13 and Article 368 and declared that Parliament has the power to abridge any fundamental right through amendments under Article 368. After that came the Keshavananda Bharati case. Keshavananda Bharati case, Article 24th Amendment was challenged. In Keshavananda Bharati case, Supreme Court held that the Parliament has the power to amend any section of the Constitution, including fundamental rights, but without affecting the basic structure. So in Keshavananda Bharati case, what the Supreme Court said? Supreme Court said that Parliament can amend the fundamental rights, but without affecting the basic structure doctrine. And it said that basic structure doctrines are those essential features of the Constitution which cannot be amended by the Parliament under Article 368. Okay, after that what happened? Parliament amended 42nd Amendment to the Constitution, and it amended Article 368 to state that no limitations on Parliament power and no amendment can be questioned in any court on any ground on violation of fundamental rights. Okay, so this was the 42nd Amendment. 42nd Amendment, you have to note down, it is very important for the prelims examination. 42nd Amendment, because 42nd Amendment is also known as the mini constitution. Lot of amendments were added in the 42nd Amendment. You need to prepare 42nd Amendment in detail, which I will discuss in this. Next, after the Keshavananda Bharati case, the very first judgment where the Supreme Court used the basic structure doctrine was the Indira Nehru Gandhi versus Raj Narayan case, where the Supreme Court struck down 39th Amendment to the Constitution. What was 39th Amendment to the Constitution? 39th Amendment to the Constitution basically said that the elections to the Prime Minister, okay, will be beyond the review of the Supreme Court. And in the Minerva Mill case, Supreme Court basically looked at the 42nd Amendment, and it said that the Supreme Court cannot, okay, be disallowed from judicial review. Supreme Court cannot be disallowed by for judicial review. This is very, very important. Then came the Vaman Rao case, and then the IR Coelho case. These cases are all basic structure doctrine cases. They can give you a list of cases, how these cases evolved chronologically, or they can give you which cases were related to the basic structure doctrine. So Keshavananda Bharati case, where the basic structure doctrine was propounded. Next, Indira Gandhi Nehru versus Raj Narayan case, where it was first applied, and here the Supreme Court struck down 39th Amendment. The 39th Amendment basically put the election to the Prime Minister beyond the judicial review. So these things are very, very important. IR Coelho case. IR Coelho case relates to the 9th schedule. IR Coelho case relates to 9th schedule. In this, Supreme Court said that anything which has been added in the 9th schedule after 24th April 1973, they are under judicial review. They can be reviewed by the Supreme Court. Okay. So 42nd Amendment, as I told you, it is very, very important. Questions can come on this 42nd Amendment. So guys, you all know under this lot of amendments were added, and that is why it is also said as the mini constitution. This amendment was brought to overturn Supreme Court's decision in the Keshavananda Bharati case. So wherever you read Keshavananda Bharati case, you have to read 42nd Amendment also. You can see here Parliament's, okay, Lok Sabha's term was extended from 5 years to 6 years. Then preamble was amended. 3 words, socialist, secular, integrity was added. Then 7th schedule was amended. Education, forest, weights and measures, protection of wildlife, birds, and administration of justice were moved from the state list to the concurrent list. Very, very important. Next, new part 4A, Article 51A was added. This is very important, fundamental duties. Then you can see here 3 directive principles of state policy was added. Article 39, Article 39A, Article 43A, and Article 48A. So you need to remember this: to safeguard forest and wildlife, to take steps that the workers are involved in managing of industries, then to promote fair justice and to provide opportunities for children in a healthy growth. So 44th amendment, basically what it was introduced to overturn the features of 42nd amendment. This is very, very important. So 44th amendment, you can see the question which came in the 2017 prelims examination. Okay, it was saying about 44th amendment. So 44th amendment, why it is important? Because it overturned the features of 42nd amendment, which is very, very important. But 44th amendment also deleted the right to property from fundamental right, and it brought it as a constitutional right or a legal right. Okay, this is very, very important. So guys, like this you have to analyze each and every topic. So let me just sum up. So in basic structure doctrine, what can come? They can ask you what is basic structure doctrine, then what it contains, what are the features. Okay, next they can ask you article 368, amendments to the Indian constitution, types of amendment, and then they can ask you the evolution of the basic structure doctrine. Then they can ask you these important amendments, 24th amendment, then 39th amendment, 42nd amendment, 44th amendment. This you can ask, okay, these amendments they can ask you. Then they can ask you famous cases of Supreme Court. Then they can ask you the doctrine of judicial review. So you can see how questions can come. This topic appears to be very simple. But if you really want to prepare this topic holistically, then you need to read these many things, these many dimensions. And guys, let me tell you, all these dimensions I have covered in my lecture test. You see, each and every, if I am going to take one topic and I am going to frame different dimensions questions so that you are prepared for every eventuality in the prelims examination. That is the reason I am able to predict so many questions every year, and students who are following my advice, students who are following my test, they are able to score very high marks in the prelims examination. Because many students who will prepare this basic structure doctrine, they will not read 24th amendment, 39th amendment, 42nd amendment, 44th amendment, and they will lose out if such questions come. You can see already UPSC has asked question on 44th amendment. And guys, one more thing which you need to keep in mind, this NJAC judgment which was given by the Supreme Court, it was also based on the basic structure doctrine only, NJAC judgment. Okay, so very, very important. This also you need to prepare. What was this NJAC judgment? Which was based on the basic structure doctrine, because the Honorable Vice President also talked about this NGAC judgment. So guys, with this I would like to end here. Guys, if you like my analysis, please do like and please do comment and please do share with this. Guys, it takes a lot of effort to do this kind of analysis. I can guarantee you nowhere on YouTube you can find this such kind of initiative, guys. That is why I say that although it is free, but it is not flower, it is fire. Thank you.